Today's bike of the day is special for several reasons. First of all, it's a limited edition, low production, high performance Italian superbike, and I'll get more into the details about that in just a moment. Number two, it only has 36 miles on it, which is unfortunately the reason why I will not be riding this today, but I will fire it up so you can hear this really interesting triple motor and what it sounds like. Number three, it's already sold. It is actually going to Juneau, Alaska. And I don't know if you're familiar with Juneau. It's the only capital in the United States where there is no road into it. I actually did a road trip with my girlfriend on a motorcycle years ago, and I went to the top of Alaska and back, and that's where I learned this fact about Juneau. So if you're trying to get there, we specifically went to visit Mendenhall Glacier, which you should definitely check out if you get a chance. But when we went there, you have two options. You can either go by boat or go by plane. So Iconic Transport is going to be setting this up to a partner of ours in Seattle, Washington, and then they're going to crate it and then ship it out to Juneau for the owner to enjoy. He actually bought this as well as a Kawasaki H2R, a 0-mile example from our buddies over at Fay Myers. So they were having a little bit of trouble selling the bike. They put it up on our auction site, and we were able to sell it again to Alaska, which is pretty crazy. So let's talk about the bike. This is a Benelli Tornado Tre, 900, my Italian's horrible, means 900. It's the limited edition. They made 150 of these. This one is number 100, which is shown on a plaque that, oh yeah, up here, there you go. But here's your plaque showing that this is number 100. It actually corresponds to the VIN number as well. So Benelli made a base version of this. They made an RS version of this, but obviously the limited edition was the holy grail. It was kind of an odd bike in a sense. So it was a 900cc triple. Didn't really qualify for any race classes or anything like that. It wasn't about that. Benelli is one of those Italian companies that's gone through some highs, some lows, a few bankruptcies, rich Italian individuals trying to bring it back to life, that kind of thing. And this is one of their, this is basically their last ditch effort before they went out of business again and ended up getting acquired by a Chinese company. So nowadays Benelli is, some scooters. I think they're most popular or most best known nowadays, at least in the US, for the TNT 135, which I'm a big Honda fan, I'm a big Monkey fan, Grom fan. I mean, I own a Monkey, which I think you guys have seen, but that TNT 135 is a really compelling package, offers more than a Grom for less money. So, something to think about. The Benelli Tornado Tre, 900, the limited edition, when it was new, back in the early 2000s, cost $36,500. In today money, that's over 60 grand. I cannot emphasize how exclusive and expensive this bike was. Now, it came with a lot of great components for that, I believe it's Marzocchi suspension, if I can look over there. No, just kidding. Marzocchi is something else. It's they did an Extreme Tech steering damper. They did Öhlins forks. One would have to assume Brembo calipers. Yes, indeed. They had adjustability, for example, with like the swing arm pivots, Arrow exhaust, a titanium exhaust there. Lots of really, really cool parts. But as you can imagine, they only sold 150 of these, right? So a lot of people just kind of put them in their living rooms or garages for display, like this bike. Those of you that are big fans of my Bimota Tessie 3D may also recognize that this is actually the exact same tail light on both bikes as well. So just like a little bonus for you there. One other thing about this bike, for your $60,000 in today's money, you got a cover, very fancy, but you also got a suitcase, a race kit. And just kind of pop this open real quick. But in here, you had some adjustment tools. You had different gearing if you're taking it to a track or that kind of thing. Your manuals, toolkit, adjustments for the swing arm pivots, that kind of thing. So lots of cool trick stuff in here, which most people didn't touch. Just left it in the briefcase for the next owner to enjoy. So with all that said, as I mentioned before, this is already sold. This one is not going to be available at the moment, but I just thought it was very cool. Because A, it represents an interesting Italian company, and B, they did something with this that very few companies do. I'd say there's really three companies that have done what I'm about to say from a production standpoint. So How do you make a motorcycle more agile? Well, you shorten the wheelbase, and yeah, it makes it twitchier and that kind of thing, but the idea is the shorter you make this, the quicker it's gonna go around a corner. Well, how do you do that? I mean, at the end of the day, you gotta fit a motor, you gotta fit certain things, you gotta fit the human who's riding it, so you don't have many options to how you shrink a wheelbase. Well, Benelli goes, in between the engine and the front wheel, there is a thing called a radiator. Let us remove that, move it somewhere else, and then we can save a few inches on the wheelbase. Honda did a similar thing with, for example, the RC51, but they put the radiators, two radiators on the sides, which did help shorten the wheelbase, but also made the thing super wide. So, when you're sitting on it, your legs are kind of splayed out, which is a little bit annoying. But Moto also just did a similar thing with the new KB4, which uses a Kawasaki 1000 motor. And yeah, they removed the radiator and they moved it to the back, which is what Benelli did back, 20 years ago or so. So the radiator for this bike is actually under the seat. Then there's a plastic shroud that protects it. And then one of the coolest thing for the 12-year-old in all of us is the radiator fans are on the back. They kind of look like jet exhausts. The fans are bright yellow, so you can't miss them. If you're following someone on one of these, it looks so cool. They got the fans, you got grills there, and that's just, yellow is a little bit of a theme for this bike. You wouldn't really see it looking here besides maybe the forks, but you've got yellow on the fans, you've got yellow in the dash, just like a little styling tweak that they did. But yeah, this is one of the very few bikes that moved the radiator from its traditional position in motorcycle design in an attempt to make it shorter and more agile. I've never really put good miles on one of these. My partner Adam has, and he's a big fan of the bike, and especially that 900cc triple. So with that in mind, let me fire this thing up so you can hear it. And then we'll also, because it's got 36 miles, we're not gonna ride it around, but we'll get it warm enough so you can see the radiator fan spinning too, because that's cool. Here we go. It's already warm. I don't know if you can hear it. There is a dry clutch for this as well, but the pipe is so loud. I'm gonna pull it in, we'll see. That's tough. I can hear it, but I don't know if the mic's gonna pick it up. I mean, that's like half a red line. These things sound amazing. So there you go, quick look at a Benelli Tornado Tre Novecento limited edition. As always, thanks so much for watching. If you have any questions, let us know in the comments, and we'll see you on the next one.